Hello again, Candy Kids. This is Orgasmo once again, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the, how to continue on once you're at the end of your, string, I guess, that you're currently working on. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my bag and turn it halfway inside out. That way it stands up on its own, it creates a nice little bag. These are the exact same bags that I'll be sending out to you guys. So, yeah. Right now I guess I'm at the corner of a piece. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this without the needle, because I know not everyone is going to have one of those. I will possibly be sending out needles once I send out a couple more of the kits. I don't have a way to buy them in bulk per se as of yet, but you can pick up what I use at Walmart. They're in every Walmart that I've been to across the country. So those of you internationals, you might be out of luck, but I don't think I'm actually going to be sending out kits to too many of you guys. But that being said, these techniques are still applicable without a needle, and for those of you guys that aren't working on this and just general peyote stitch. The one thing that I will say about this is I am only going to guarantee this with my string, the string that I use, the Stretch Right beading elastic. Anything else, especially something like fishing line or anything else like that, definitely will not work. But for the string that I use, it's definitely applicable. Okay. Now, as I'm going through this, I'm just about at the end of where I want to be. Okay. Now once, let's see, right about here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the string and I'm going to fish it through this guy here. Okay, as you can probably see already, this sort of stuff is a lot easier with a needle, but again, not necessary. So what you can do to help is you can bend it a little bit like that, and you can just fish it through. If it starts to get a little bit frayed, and if you're not using a needle, it's definitely going to be a lot more frayed than this. What you can do is you can actually cut it, and you can melt the end of it just barely. I mean, that much, that's really all it's going to take. Just pass it through and it'll melt just slightly, and that'll be good enough. As you can see, I'm just beating it through the beads that are already there. I like to go through 10 beads. For the technique to actually work, you really only have to go through like 6 and it'll hold, but I go through 10 just to be sure. You obviously don't want it coming apart, okay? So I think I'm at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one here is going to be 8. And that one's going to be 9. And this one here is going to be 10. Okay? Now, it's really easy to tell if it works or not, because you can pull on that last bead that you put on. If it doesn't go anywhere, you're good to go. Okay? Now, from there, you can actually just cut that bastard off if you want to. I like to leave it there so I know how many times that I've actually continued off of it. And then what you'll do is you'll take your next piece, I already have it nice and cut, and what you'll do is you'll tie a bead on the end of it. This is so you don't accidentally pull it all the way through. I only do an overhand knot. If you want, you can do a double knot. You're just going to be cutting it off anyway. It doesn't make that much of a difference. And then from here, you'll go ahead and you'll count 10 beads back. I mean, obviously you don't really have to count, but get an approximation. You want to go like back pretty far. So, let's see. That's a little bit frayed, so I will do the same thing. Cut it. Melt the end of it just slightly. And then from there, I will just start beating through. So I'll just go in like right about there. And go under the one above it. And then I'll pull it tight. Now the first couple you're not going to want to gank all the way through. You can possibly undo that single overhand knot. That's why I said if you want to do a double knot, you can. Then you can pull on it all you want to. It's not going to go anywhere. You go through the next one. And you're going to pull it tight. Now you can go through 2 before you do it. I don't like to because it causes that spiral effect. You know, like when you're when you're gift wrapping presents and you do that thing with the scissors where you just shear it off and it curls up. Same exact thing will happen with this. And it doesn't usually end up too well. So I just do one and pull it tight. I fish it through again and pull it tight. As you can probably already tell, it's a little bit time consuming. Now, those of you guys that just want to tie it off, you can. I'm not going to have a problem with that for this particular project. I would prefer it if you did this, and honestly it creates an overall cleaner looking piece. Obviously there are going to be knots, so I can't say whether or not it'll be stronger because I haven't purely tested it. I know that my top hat is actually done using no knots. I want to say between half and 2/3 of my candy coat actually doesn't have any knots in it either. I use the same techniques for that as well, so it'll definitely hold up to the weight. It's really going to depend on how you do your knots. I do really nice and tight, clean square knots, or if it's a particularly, I guess, strenuous knot, I'll do like a surgeon's knot. I'll probably do a tutorial dedicated to that actually. I get a lot of requests about that. I don't use them too often because they aren't really all that necessary, but it's good to know. And for you know, joints where you really need the added strength, like particular spots on 3Ds and things like that, it'll really come in handy. I'll let you guys know in advance, I'm trying to do this at a much slower pace than I normally do, just so that way you guys can see exactly how I'm doing this. Yeah, let's see, I'm almost at the end of this. And if you notice, I'm not going through the ones at the top. You can go through the top row, I just don't. I'm not really sure why. I guess it's probably just personal preference, but it might be easier for you guys if you guys want to go through the top, and that's fine. And then once you're back out at the top, then you can just continue on as normal. 1, 2, pull it tight. 1, 2, pull it tight. As you can see, it's perfectly evenly matched, and once I cut off the ends here, matter of fact, I'll do that right now just so you guys can see what it looks like. What you'll want to do is you'll want to pull it. There we go. And then we can take this bead out, pull it. It's a little short. Flip it over, we can take out the rest of these little receipts here. Just so that way, give you guys an idea on what it looks like. See? Nice and clean. Consistency is the key in this. Yeah. That's basically about it for continuing on this. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns or whatever you want to call it, feel free to leave stuff in the comments. I guess that's what it's for. Reach out to me on Facebook. I'll be posting a link at the bottom as well. And, yeah. Happy beating, kids. Bye.